Yo, hey, what's going on? Hey, man, I want to tell you guys one of the secrets that I've learned on how to reduce arm pump. Arm pump is a major problem. I'm sure that you've felt this anytime that you've rode for a long race or a really hard moto. You've experienced just how painful and how annoying arm pump can be. And so I got some resources and some techniques that I've done that have really helped me in a big way. You may or may not know, but my history in the freestyle motocross space was not conducive to the racing space. And so as I spent years training on a freestyle ramp, doing backflips and Superman seat grabs, I was not building the endurance I need to be successful on the racetrack. And so now the transition has been extremely challenging for me. And so what I've really done is I think what most people do is, anytime you have a problem, I go to YouTube and I begin to YouTube, hey, how do you reduce arm pump? And I watched all the videos. There's a lot of guys being like, hey, you got to do this on the bike. You got to take your weight from your arms to your legs. You need to get this special machine that, he spins into your arms. You need to eat differently. You need to do all this stuff. And I did all that stuff. And they're like, well, the biggest thing is you got to ride more. And I'm like, well, I ride all the time. I ride a couple times a week. And it still wasn't working. So I'm like, well, what is this secret? I don't understand. I'm doing everything they're doing, and I can't win over this. And then I go to the track, and there's these guys that can put in 15 laps, and they don't even have arm pump. And I'm like, all right, what am I missing here? And what was really cool was it was almost as if it was by chance, but I ran into a buddy of mine who had a fitness program. And so I started talking to him, and he was telling me about some other stuff on basically how the fitness stuff works, and began to break down some of these techniques. And when he was talking, I was just like, I knew what I needed to do. I needed to do exactly what he was telling me, but I needed to do it for arm pump. And the cool thing, I did it, and I was laser focused, and it's working. It started kind of slow, but the coolest thing is even after just a week of doing it, I went to the track, and I could feel 10% better. I knew that I was already developing in that area, and I thought that was really cool. So some of the things that I did right off the bat was, I think of it in three areas. There's conditioning of your arms and your arm pump. There is building strength training, and then there's endurance. And so ultimately what I started with was techniques on the bike. And so that's where I started first. And so the thing that I noticed for myself was people always say transfer your weight from your arms to your legs, and I would always do that on the straightaways and off jumps. But the problem was the corners are where I was building the most arm pump. And so what I found was in the corners, I actually wasn't squeezing with my legs, but holding on with my arms. And so the first techniques that I really started to do was learning how to squeeze the bike properly in the corner so that I wasn't having to put so much weight on my arms to control the bike. That right there started to help instantly. So then nextly, I started to go into the gym. And so there's three exercises I think helped me the most. There's a bunch of them I did, but I really think these helped. The first thing was, it was a PVC pipe with a string with a weight on the bottom. And I just began to turn that up. And so basically go all the way to the ground. I'd turn the weight up, and I would do that 10 times. Go up, and then down, and then up, and then down. And that my arms were burning from this, but that just began to start the conditioning process. The next thing is I began to weight train. And so basically, I started with that weight, and I began to put a heavier weight. And I started doing really, really heavy weights to strength train, to build my muscles before I went on to doing the endurance stuff. And so let me just back up 1 second because I forgot some of the three exercises I did. So the first was the pipe turning thing. The next thing was the squeeze weight. And so I got a squeeze weight at Goodwill. And so I just began to squeeze that for 100 times to really develop my grip, because you're constantly doing your brakes and your throttles and the grip things there. So there, the squeeze weight. And the last thing was a rowing machine at my gym. And so I don't know if you have a rowing machine or have access, but it's a really great resource to be able to use. And so those three things are what I did about 3 times a week. And so first I started just to build my conditioning up with my arms. The second thing, I began weight training. And so I just began to add weight and increase the weight of the machines. And then the last thing is I began to build the endurance. And so this is where the row machine really comes in. I started out doing about 8 minutes on the rowing machine and really trying to push myself and do as hard as I can. And then now I'm about up to into the 20-minute mark. And so that's really helped, just take my muscles. I built the muscles up because I was doing the heavy weights. And then I began to do the endurance training. And so I've really developed the conditioning all around in my arm pump, and I can feel a huge difference. And so I just really wanted to explain what I did to really help this, because I watched all the videos. I did everything I thought I was doing and it wasn't working, but this definitely works. And so what I want to tell you about now is I'm actually going to be doing a 21-day arm pump challenge, because the biggest thing I realize is you can get all this stuff online. You can go on YouTube. You can Google this stuff. You can find this resources. That's free. Like, there's nothing out there. The problem is just because you know it doesn't mean it's going to help you. And so the reason why most self-help books don't work is because people don't actually do what they learn in the books. Like, they know about it, becomes head knowledge, but they never actually go out and be disciplined about doing it. And that's why I'm creating this 21-day arm pump challenge. I got a couple buddies that are going to be doing it with me. And for 21 days, we're going to be super disciplined about every single day, developing the endurance, building the muscle, and building the endurance in our motocross fitness from working out and our arm pump. And so for 21 days, we're going to challenge each other on this journey because, in life we get so busy. We get so distracted. We got kids, we got jobs, we got, all this stuff that distracts us constantly. And so basically what this program is just, that this is an issue, this is a source of tension, but you finally want to do something about it. And I realize it's not for everyone. You probably, if you don't even struggle with arm pump, this is probably not the opportunity for you. But if this is a source of tension and your riding is being limited because of your endurance, if your riding is being hindered because of your arm pump, I think you should consider joining us on this journey for 21 days. It's helped me in 21 days. It's helped a couple of my buddies for 21 days, and now we're going to do it again. And so the thing is when I go out and coach, it's really expensive. It's really expensive for track fees, for travel costs, for the insurance I got to have. But what this is, it's a virtual program. So for every day, I'm going to be reaching out to you. I'm going to be sending you the videos for your workouts. I'm going to be sending you some motivational stuff. And I'm going to really help you assess why it is that your arm pump, because everyone's a little bit different, but basically you're going to have me and a whole bunch of other guys for 21 days that are on this journey together, and it's a challenge. And like all great challenges, there's some cool rewards on the other side. So for those who actually do the work, for those who actually work out and do what we're going to ask you to do to actually get this, like, we got some really cool challenges. The top challenge is like, I think it's about a $150 reward. The second one is about a $90 reward, and then anyone that does it after that, will get like a t-shirt. And so the cool thing is every day you get points. And so if you do the workouts, you get points. If you do the diet, you get points. And if you actually ride your bike, you get points. And so whoever gets the most points wins the top tier. And so basically it's just a challenge. It's just something you're saying, hey, I struggle in this area, and I don't want it to hinder me anymore, and so I'm going to be focused on it for the next 21 days, and I'd like to do it with you. And we'd love to have you, because when we work together, we all benefit. And so one of the cool thing is we do charge for this, but all the money doesn't go to me. Basically, all the money is going to go back into our free rider training. You might know, but we do a lot of free rider training with people. We give away a lot of free books. We give away a lot of content that helps people. And so basically, this is going to fund basically growing the sport of motocross. And it's something I'm really passionate about. I think there's a big need in the sport. There's a lot of people getting hurt and injured. And until that number is reduced, I'm going to keep moving forward, and I'm going to keep trying to educate and help people succeed. And so if you're interested in this, hit the link below just to check out what the program is all about. Like I said, if there's a source of tension for you and your riding, commit to 21 days to developing your muscle endurance and your strength training in this area. And hopefully you can finally get victory like I have and some of my buddies have. And so, all right, guys, I hope to see you guys in the challenge. If not, I hope to see you guys on the track someday. All right, see ya.